Hi there, Interghost here, and today this is a video response to Matropolis.
Interghost is at the caboose. He's picking up games to show to you. He really likes to play on his Wii U. And if you think you've got a high score, well, that's what Retro Records is for. His XCOM team aren't living anymore. Him and all the dudes are singing out of tune. It's your friendly YouTube hosts, interghost.
Yeah, hi, welcome back. Yeah, you probably haven't seen me for, I don't know, 4 months, is it? Haven't been on YouTube for quite some time. I just wanted to say a big thanks to all the people who've been asking where I am and asking when my next video is. I'll show you who they are now. And yeah, so I was taking a bit of a break from YouTube. Not sure what I'm going to do in the future. I might do a video on that at some point, just to say what my feelings are around collecting and video making and that sort of thing. But that's not today. Today we are doing a video response to Matropolis. His link to his channel you can find down below. And he has asked, I think it was his mate Steve who tagged him, and he is asking what your top 10 computer or video games are ever, which is probably an impossible question to ask. Like him, it probably changes all the time. So what I've done is I've got games which really had an impact on me in the past as they came out and I played them originally the first time round. Now I've put them in the list if I think they are something which has really influenced me as a gamer through the years, but also another reason they are on the list is they are games that I will go back to and play. I mean, there are other games which could go in the list easily, like Final Fantasy, or there's loads of games on the Super Nintendo I could stick in there, like Shadowrun or Mario World, or you know. But these are games which, when I first played them, they were really cool. But when I go back to try and play them now, like Final Fantasy VII, I used to really love that game, but nowadays I go back to it and it doesn't really hold my attention for very long, and I can't really get on with it. But I do know it's a 5-star game really. It's just doesn't really stand up to another playthrough nowadays. So I'll stop my waffling, and I've got my 10 games here, and the first one is a game which is on the ZX Spectrum. Now there's only one of them I put in here. Again, I could have put loads on, but the one which I always go back to every time I put the Spectrum on or an emulator is Chaos. Now this is my original tape. You see there, written in pencil on there, Chaos. So I had a copied version of it. I think it was given away for free on cover tape of Your Sinclair, I think it was, back in the day. And my friend had the cover tape version, and this is a copy of it. And yeah, so never actually got the original one, I don't think. Throughout the whole years I've been gaming, I've never got an original copy of it. Now the best version of Chaos is on the Atari ST, and it was sort of like a fan-made version, a public domain version, where they did the same game, but they obviously upgraded the graphics a little bit, but they put loads of sound clips in there from things like Highlander and Red Dwarf and Blackadder and Monty Python. They've just put loads of really funny sound clips in it, and it works really well. So that's my first one, number 10. So number 9, I couldn't find the box. I don't think I've got the original anymore. I've got it on download as a digital version, but I just got this box just as an example, and it's Resident Evil. Now Resident Evil as a series is really up there for me. A lot of these games which I've got to show you I'm really classing them as one big series, but I'll pick one out of that series as my favourite. Now Resident Evil 7 is probably one of my favourite ones out of them, and one I've got physical. But my favourite one of all time, might surprise some people, it's actually Resident Evil 1, the remake version, which you can get on lots of consoles like the GameCube. I think it's on PlayStation as well. But most recently I got it as a digital download on the Switch, and I played through it again, completed it, and yeah, it's really good. And also for the first time ever, I completed Resident Evil 0 as well, which is really good. Didn't quite like the switching between characters, but other than that, it's a really good game. So yeah, number 9 is Resident Evil, the original. Now number 8, probably won't surprise people because it's in my intro, and it is XCOM. And this is the original XCOM Enemy Unknown. It's also called UFO Defense, I think, on the PC. And yeah, this version on the PlayStation 1 is my favourite version, and the first one is my all-time favourite. Terror from the Deep was almost the same as this, but it was a lot harder. Didn't really get into that one very much. But the new XCOM games, XCOM and XCOM 2, which are on PlayStation 4, I think, they're really good remakes of these. So if you don't like the older games, go and play the updated versions. It's got the same heart as the original, and it's a turn-based game, base building and killing aliens, and yeah, brilliant game. So that's number 8. So number 7, now this is a game I've never actually completed, but I can't remember how many times I've restarted this one, and it's Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Now, like I said, I've played this, I don't know, I would probably guess about between 10 and 15 times I've started from the beginning again, and I've never actually finished the game. And Skyrim, I think the controls and the way you fight and the inventory and all that sort of thing, I think they've improved a lot more from Oblivion. This one's a little bit clunky, but I think the actual world in Oblivion is much more fun and diverse than it is in Skyrim. Skyrim's very sort of bland greys and browns, whereas Oblivion, you can go to lots of different areas and they all feel different. The towns feel much more alive and more characters in there, and you get a lot more interesting stories. The only thing I don't like about Oblivion is the actual, when you go into the Oblivion gates, where you have to fight like imps and demons and stuff, and that's the bit I always get bored with and I quit. And then when I go back to this again, it's then months down the line and I've forgotten what I'm doing, so I start it again. And I wouldn't be surprised if I do start this one again at some point. So that is number 7. Number 6 is a very similar game, and it's also by Bethesda, and it won't come to a surprise to many people, but it's Fallout, and it's Fallout 3, which is my favourite of them. Again, very much like the Oblivion game, I think that Fallout 4 does the inventory and the creating of objects and that sort of thing a lot better than in Fallout 3. But again, Fallout 3 has a much better story. It's a lot more interesting and lots more places you can go and that sort of thing. So yeah, Fallout 3 is a game I have completed, but it's also a game that I've gone and started it over from the start. Probably not as much as Oblivion, probably about 4 or 5 times I've completed or gone through this one. And I'm nowhere near 100% it. It's a huge game. There's loads of other stuff I've still yet to do, and yeah, another game I'll probably play at some point, Fallout 3. So number 5 is a relatively new game, but I think the first game actually came out on the Game Boy Color, but this was the first game in the series I played, and it was Shantae Half Genie Hero on the Switch. Now this is a game, like I said, first played it on this platform. I'd never played it before. I have seen the character in different things, and for some reason it's gone under the radar for quite some years, but quite recently it's got really popular. For some reason, apart from this one, you can only buy the new ones from things like Limited Run, which I think is really damaging the series. I think they know that there's an audience there, they know that this game will sell, so they need to bring it out as on mass market and for selling in stores, because I feel it's a bit sly that they only sell these games now on Limited Run, which forces you to buy them on release, and then also when they run out, it forces you to buy them off of eBay, where people hike the prices up through the roof. There's only one in the series of Shantae I haven't got, and it goes for like, I think it's about 150, 200 pounds now, which is not what I'm willing to pay for a Switch game. That one which I've got missing, I have got on digital, and it's only a couple of pounds on the Nintendo store, so I just picked it up on that. But yeah, Half Genie Hero is probably the best one in the series, and you can get it from retail. So if you've not played Shantae, I would say definitely pick up this one. If you love platforming games, collect 'em up games, you're gonna love this. It's like Monster Boy. What else is it like? A little bit sort of like Mega Man, where you have to go through and you can go back to levels once you've got different items to get to different secret areas and that sort of stuff. Very cool game, and I've played this one a couple of times, and I've played through all the others in the series now. So number 4 is another one which I haven't got the original box for anymore. I think I must have sold it, but my favourite is the original, and it's on the PlayStation 1. But I have got the remake, which is the Anniversary Edition, and that is Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider Anniversary on there, and that is a remake of the first game. Now, the first game was one which, when I put it in on the PlayStation 1 back in the day and first played it, I was absolutely blown away. It was like a game I'd never experienced before, a style I've never experienced. It felt very atmospheric. You were going around in caves, bats and monsters and stuff would jump out at you, scare the crap out of you, and it just felt very sort of like you was alone in that cave and tomb raiding. The other ones in this series sort of lost that feeling. It sort of went a bit more gun-ho. There's a lot more human enemies in it and gun battles, and I think it's sort of, they were still good, but they sort of lost their way a bit. The new Tomb Raider games are really well made as well, although they've gone a little bit sort of Uncharted style. But yeah, for me, the first Tomb Raider game will always be my favourite, and it's a game that I've gone back to on digital quite recently, and it still plays really, really well. It has the tank controls, which a lot of people can't get on with, but if you can get your head around that, then it's a game well worth playing. And like I said, it's got that sort of lone atmosphere, which really makes it a really fun game to play. So that is Tomb Raider. So we're now down to the top 3, and in third place is another series really, but the best one for me again is the original, and it is the Batman Arkham series. And this is Batman Arkham Asylum, which was the first one. Again, you probably get a theme here, but it's the first time I played it, put the game in. I wasn't really expecting too much from it. I thought it was just going to be a normal, you know, Batman beat 'em up game where you go around fighting people, go from left to right, or it might have been a bit of a 3D environment explore, but more of just a beat 'em up game. But this is a lot more. There's a lot more sort of puzzles to solve, hidden areas to find. There's loads and loads of Easter eggs in the first game, of all the different baddies and comics which you need to go and find. And yeah, the whole series is amazing. The last one, is it Arkham Knight, where you drive around the city? I think that one is probably the second favourite of them all. The other ones are sort of a copy of the first one, but they sort of opened it up a little bit more. So I'd say the first one's really good because even though it's confined to a building, I think it's really good that you then have to find your way around secret areas and find all the little Easter eggs. And then the last one in the series is just sort of like an open world version of it, where you can sort of drive around the town, and there's a lot more fighting in gangs and stuff like that. But for me, the first one, Arkham Asylum, will always be my favourite Batman game. Hopefully they make some more of these because I really enjoy them. So number 2, this one had to be in there really. I am a Nintendo fanboy. I know there wasn't very many Nintendo games in the list so far, but like I said, there are so many games that could be on this list, but these are ones which really had an impact on me, and I go back to time and time again. Now this one is Super Mario. Now my favourite one at the moment is Mario Odyssey. It used to be Mario 3D World, which was on the Wii U, and I've also got it on the Switch now. But yeah, Mario Odyssey is just amazing. Every time they bring out a new game, they manage to step it up. They manage to do something a little bit different. In this one, you've got the cap, which you can throw onto things, and you can take over enemies and have their abilities and that sort of thing. Open world style, and yeah, the graphics are amazing. The gameplay is just probably one of the best games you will ever play. It is a 10 out of 10 5-star game, and if you've never played this, then you need to pick this one up. This is an absolutely amazing game, and I can't wait for them to bring out another Mario game, because I'm so excited to see what they will do with Mario in the future. Like I said, every time they make Mario, they just make it better, and so to top Odyssey, I don't know what they're going to do, but yeah, so Super Mario had to be up on there. All of the games I've enjoyed, you know, Mario Brothers 3, amazing game on the NES, Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. Like I said, every time they make a new one, it's just an amazing game. Go and play it, Super Mario. And finally, my number one game. Now this is probably my favourite series ever made, and I'm hoping that they will bring this game out on the PlayStation 5, because at the moment I've got no real interest in next gen gaming. PlayStation 5 is just it's just an updated PlayStation 4 in my eyes. There's nothing on there, there's no system sellers, but if they brought out the next one of these on the PlayStation 5, then I would probably have to pick it up, because I love these games, and it is Uncharted. Now Uncharted took what Tomb Raider did and notched it up, you know, from 10 to 13. This is what Tomb Raider should have turned into in the next gen consoles. Like I said, Tomb Raider has gone a bit sort of Uncharted now, but I think because Uncharted did it first, it now feels like Tomb Raider imitating Uncharted, where originally it was Uncharted imitating the old Tomb Raider. But yeah, Naughty Dog, they just knocked it out of the park with this one. It's the first one is probably my favourite again, because it had that impact on me. The other ones, you know, they do upgrade the graphics and the cutscenes and that sort of thing, and it does look better and better each time you go up in the series of the Uncharted games. But for me, the first one, put it in, started playing it, and I was just like, wow, this is next gen gaming really. You could just spend sort of half an hour walking around one area, just looking at the trees and the buildings, and everything. It looks just like they've taken so much time and effort over it. It's just it's like a work of art really. And this first one had a lot more sort of like more puzzly, and you had to work out routes to jump and climb up and that sort of thing, whereas the newer ones in the series, it had a lot more sort of what they called, where you have the cutscenes and you have to push the buttons at the right time. So like somebody will come falling down towards you, you have to push the X button to dodge out the way. Quick time, that's the one. Had a lot more quick time events in it, which I don't really like. Quick time events, although they look gorgeous, it's just not fun just pushing a button, oh jump out of the way, grab hold of this. I like this sort of game where you're climbing around and trying to find where the next platform is and trying to jump across and grab hold of things which seem too far away. And then the combat in it's amazing with the gunfighting. They've done really well, ducking, using cover and round the walls and that sort of thing. So for me, Uncharted at the moment is my number one game of all time. And so yeah, that's it. That's my top 10 games. Like Matt, they will probably change over time. I'm not playing that many games at the moment, so like I said, next gen gaming doesn't really have much pull for me. There's nothing really there I want to play. I've still got some Switch games I'm working through. I've got all my other drives out, so I've been playing on the Super Nintendo, the N64, the Atari ST and the Master System quite a bit, completing a few older games. So that list won't change that much, I don't think, at the moment, but hopefully when the next generation sort of pulls its finger out and you can buy the systems and they bring out a few more good games, and hopefully Nintendo bring out a new console soon, who knows. Then there'll be some more series, there'll be some more add-ons to those ones I've spoken about, and yeah, the list might change. So thanks Matt for tagging me in this video and forcing me out of my 4-month hiatus, or however long it's been. Hopefully it'll give me the drive to do a couple more videos. I've got a load more sort of you probably see the Masters of the Universe Origins figures and some Ghostbuster bits and pieces down there, which I'll probably do a video about at some point. This is an open tag, anyone can do it. I haven't brought a list of who I need to tag. I think all the people who I would tag anyway have already been tagged, like Gashead and Shock 16 and Colossal Vids. Yeah, so if you guys haven't done it, get on here and do it, and I will hopefully see you in another video, maybe this year, maybe next year. Cheers.